What up, everyone? We're going to see if this works. My name is Frank Castle. I'm your sorcerer supreme and host of FearLess every Saturday night right here on FearLess. And this right here is my etherical translator, Paula Milo.
Hey, everyone. Okay, so we are.
Wait, slide over. I'm in Grandma's old lady thing.
We're at the grandparents' house because we're on grandparent duty.
Wait, can you hear us? Do I have to go up louder? I don't know if I can. Oh, wow, that's as loud as it goes. All right, let me know if the sound's off. There's absolutely nothing I can do, so we'll just keep rolling. Oh, okay, they can hear us. Okay. All right, good.
So we're on grandparent duty because Frank's mom had to be with the grandkids to babysit. So we're on grandparent duty because Frank's grandma's in hospice downstairs in the living room. So we're up in Frank's old bedroom.
This is where I grew up.
Trying to get all this together. And again, as usual, anything that can go wrong did go wrong. We were all set up downstairs and we couldn't get a connection and it was just horrible. But now we're here and we're just going to see what happens.
We're using my mother's computer, her Mac, because I set everything up at home.
Ready to go.
We were ready to go. And then I took my iPad, brand new iPad. I'm like, yo, we can do everything from here. It's all done. It's set up. It took me an hour. I got everything done. We got here. It wouldn't let me access any of this stuff from the iPad, period. It would let me watch the show. That's it.
So we're just doing the best we can.
We went right back.
Yeah.
I said, oh, we're going to have to do this from my old bedroom.
Hey, this is where it all started because if you remember when we first met, I slept on that mattress on the floor and I knew I was in love.
Oh, thank you so much.
I knew. I just knew. So it's funny to be here. And we had to sleep here.
There was nothing in this room.
We had to sleep here at the beginning of the week because Grandma had another scare. So Frank and I had to come over at like 11 o'clock at night and stay here because we didn't, we just wanted to make sure everything was okay. And the two of us were sleeping in the twin bed with the air conditioner on and it was so hot and we're just laying in the dark going, is she going to die tonight?
Yeah, I mean.
Is it going to be another night? And then the next morning she woke up and had waffles.
She had waffles and ice cream. And now we're like.
So.
Okay, so we're just going to stay over for a little bit.
So Frank had to sleep here last night. He's going to be sleeping here tonight. I get to duck out a little while after the show and go home, but Frank has to stay here.
So shout out to everyone who's joined us, who's joining in. I don't know. I feel so much better than I did like 10 minutes ago. I was losing my shit in here.
Getting so angry.
I'm like, damn technology. I sounded like an old man. I don't know how many of you are sounding old. My birthday is 8:50 in the morning tomorrow, so 12 o'clock tonight. We're ready to go, but I noticed I said a few old man things today. Like that's too loud, and I can't deal with that. And,
you ate too much and didn't eat.
Oh yeah, that was
no. Don't talk to me. I'm too full now.
Listen, so we're wondering. We go out to eat, and we pass a. Don Coquis, right? The old name? Okay, so you can eat Spanish food there, like the best Spanish food.
He used to be a long time ago.
And you dress nice. You go there nice, and then it turns into a dance place. It's fucking awesome. But I went there and ate. Not tonight. This was another time. And then I couldn't dance after what I ate, and I had to go to the bathroom immediately. So I just ran out. I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going home." And we were talking about that tonight, and then I stuffed myself while we were out, but I ate a little bit more healthy than normal. It was a chicken sandwich, but I couldn't breathe. I was sitting here like, thank God I got everything done, and then nothing worked, and I was like, what? But luckily, all right, with all that aside, I'm just actually side noting for everyone because we didn't get the intro, because we didn't have none of that stuff with us to plug in. But fortunately for us, we are worthy. So one of the things that's been really cool
did you bring that home? You brought that home?
Well, I have two.
In our house? Oh, we do have another one.
Well, I'm a time traveler, so of course I have two.
Sorry. I don't even know why I asked. I'm sorry.
Yes, I was curious about that. Why do you ask? Sorry, just being playful.
No, it's okay.
It's my birthday. I'm allowed to. I'm turning 45, and honestly, other than a few weird old man jokes that I make and the white stuff, like on the white beard and the white hair, like I actually feel way younger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like the older I get, it's more like a refined feeling I'm having, and you know, this whole journey, we are going back to that. Dare I say, the 7-year-old version of us, the one that. Not that you act like a 7-year-old. It's just that.
Well, that depends.
The fun. No. Listen, the fun and the creativity that you would have as a kid, right? Like, all right, Aiden did it. So shout outs to Aiden. So check this out. He jumped. Her nephew jumped on the bed in her sister's house, and just screamed the other night, "The floor is lava!" Right. So I was standing on. Wait. So the slides. I was on the other side of it.
The sliding door.
So I was going to just run in the room and go lava and jump on the bed, but I had my shoes on. I didn't want to do that. So I just came out. I came into the room and I went, "I'm made of lava and this is my land." And he was like, "Oh," and he went for it. And he went through the house trying not to land on anything. And then he had to go through the hallway. So he was stepping on like a spot here, a spot there, and that was like not lava. So he was like, "Come and get me." So I remember that, but he was serious.
I know.
Like it was lava to him, and he was having he was dancing and singing. How old is he? 5, 6?
He just turned 6.
So all right, that's right. He was this today.
Yes.
Thumbs up. All right, so that's the feeling you want to have kind of internally when you're doing stuff that you enjoy. Yeah. Right? You want to have that, "Oh yeah, let's do this," right? Like when we're cooking something good.
Yeah.
I come in the room dancing, I'll do something weird and sing a song, and all the lyrics are made up of me making fun of Paula and the cats and myself, and how we're you know, doing whatever. Like, you know, it's like freestyling your own lyrics. But that presents to you this energetic checkpoint, right? So let me turn this on. There we go. So with that checkpoint, not that much. All right. When you hit that checkpoint, that's what we're talking about, bringing your vibration up and your frequency, right? Yeah. Because that's how you do it. Mm-hmm. You get into that mode where everything starts to flow and feel good. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a girl of few words. Yeah. She's been etherical translating like, forget it. You know what was real funny? We're coming back into the house over here, right? And we pull up, and it felt weird for a second. I don't know why. And then I go, "Doesn't it feel weird?" And then the neighbors were staring at us, but it was like the younger kid who's like a teen, and then the nana who's like mad old, right? And she's really short. And I was going, "Who is that?" And then she just turned. Now she's like 25 feet away, didn't hear me. And she just goes,
and we go, "Hello!"
You gotta say hi, because that's like the original security cameras for the neighborhood, right? Is the nana nonas, right? Anyone over, 67, 68 can go up on the porch and look down and say, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I'll tell your mother, your father, shut up. "Oh yeah, you get hit with the shoe," right? That's yeah. We went through and your sister and I are this going to be the same age.
Yeah.
Well,
she just turned 45 last month.
And we were talking about 1974 and being born in that interesting year and that interesting time, and excuse me, how times have changed so much, but not really at all, because we were standing in a place we've always gone to, right? We were at Rye Playland at the Tiki Bar. For those of you that know Lower Westchester in New York. We've been going there since we're little kids, and it's changed over the years, but not really. And now you're there with your children, or you're doing your thing.
Yeah, it's strange.
Right? And I'm like, okay, I feel, all right, so here's something that I noticed. I was like, I've been to this park. I loved it. The Dragon Coaster. I love the Dragon Coaster, right? It's cool. It's not great, but it's really good. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, this was great, but I'm kind of done. Wow. Kind of done. Well, and I don't mean it like, I mean it more like checkpoint. Like I've been
Yeah,
here,
you're
done
over it.
this.
Yeah, you can't go on any of those rides
Like,
because you're back anyway. You can't do any of that.
Yeah, but I've already been on all of them. Like when I just said this to my brother when I got injured, I can't go on any roller coaster. Like I've been on every roller coaster. He goes, well, you've been on every roller coaster, so you ain't got nothing to worry about.
Right, you already did it.
Next thing, checkpoint spaceship, right? And I was like, well, now that you put it like that, and he was like, well, you got to think like that sometimes, you know. He was trying to make me feel better, and he did. But now I feel like I've been playing in this playground. This is metaphorically what I'm getting at about being here on the planet. We've played long enough. The playground's cute. We've been there. We've done that. We grew up. We grew old. We're changing. We're turning. We're becoming something new. As the seasons change, as the things begin to happen, you begin to blossom, and then old ways die off eventually, and then you become something new when it's time to become something new. But I'm really feeling that, like it's beautiful. The scenery, it's beautiful. It's stuff, yeah, it's pretty. But there's something that's just got to change, and I'm sure it's me. Maybe it's my version of the environment. No, I mean, it's up to me.
It's only you, Frank.
I mean, it's up to me to make the change. That's what I was getting at. Come on, bring it back. Paula had half a drink, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so drunk."
Oh, let's not even go there, okay?
I had my first drink tonight. I had a pina colada, and it didn't ruin the evening. It did?
No, it didn't ruin.
What did you whisper in my ear? Did you just say Hail Hydra? What?
That's not what I said.
But we're growing up, and
we're
barely.
All right.
We're growing up. We're becoming mature. We're changing, but the times have changed in such a way that it's almost like sterile fun, expensive, hot, humid, longer lines, longer waits, more traffic, on and on and on, down the line. And it's gotten this breaking point where it's almost not fun. We got away with murder. We were like, murder most foul. No, murder most awesome.
Don't touch him.
I didn't touch. All right, so
we did get away with
we
murder.
get to leave after we eat.
Because we did a lot of adulting this week. Wouldn't you agree? And we handled it well. And, we try not to adult too much every week.
Right.
So we met everyone for dinner, and I got to see my nephews, and it was a great time. And then after, everyone was going on the rides after, and we were like, we have to leave because we have to do the show. And we were going all the way to the car.
Yeah. We get to leave because we don't have any more responsibility.
Yeah, we're done.
In those moments, it's just us.
Fulfilled our responsibilities, and now it's time to go.
Yeah, so it was pretty interesting as we were walking away. Everybody else was full. One of the guys with us, he orders and I'm not trying to upset any vegans or anything. He ordered some ribs, but we're at like an outdoor. Yeah. On the water, bar food, and they brought him
it looks like a French
this is nothing. It was like that big. I go, what are you gonna do with that? He ate into it, and then and I was going, wow, and it was very expensive. All right, so somebody was saying, right, Playland sucks. They nickel and dime you, $18 for a chicken sandwich, and I'm not even trying to be a hammer about stuff. But that was just that. And you can't even validate parking if you go there and you spend under $30 or something. It says it right on the sign.
Oh, I didn't read
We won't validate unless you spend over a certain amount. Even
it was so easy to spend it, though. That's not even, it was fun. It was fun.
We had a good time.
Nothing is the way it used to be.
But that's what I'm getting at.
Nothing is the way it used to be. Nothing.
So, it's, you used to be able to just walk in and walk around. Now,
and you can't even.
It's $30 a person if you're not from like Westchester, right? So the place ain't that big. It's great adventure money in a small place. Mm-hmm. One of the cool things, you can meet the Rangers, I think, there, right? They practice in well, at least try to work out with me on the camera.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, thanks. So you can see the Rangers in the hockey ring, and then they have like all kinds of performances all year long.
Oh,
see, Paula was being a punk ass, and I'm like, yo, I performed here. we were going nuts in the Tiki Bar when it first opened.
We used to go there all the time because before that one was open, there's another one right before Right Playland on the beach, because you've been to that one too.
Yes, well, I used to live over there. So.
Again, never saw each other. We used to go all the time. Never saw each other. So strange.
I was a little annoyed earlier. I wonder if you know this, if you knew I was annoyed a little bit before the show.
Why? Why?
Well, because of the stupid technology, but now I'm kind of enjoying this, and it kind of is making me think about doing the show differently back at the homestead, which is pretty interesting. I'm gonna definitely get into more stuff, but I'm just having fun tonight, and
I think that
I'm
the
like
only
letting
place
it
that
out.
we could do this is if we went in the bathroom and locked the door because of all those cats. We just maybe we could go in the car. We could go in the car, and then no one would bother us at home. I don't know if this is possible.
No, yeah. We can reverse everything, so we can have
With the camera you already have.
the camera near the front door facing us,
Uh-huh.
and then the TV with maybe like the FearLess tribe, FearLess family symbol behind us on the TV,
I see.
and then being able to use that as we go. All right, so I don't know. Happy full moon's over, right? We're in that last couple of days.
Yeah, I said please, between the full moons and everything that's been happening, I'm afraid to leave the house.
The crazy and shout outs to the FearLess family, by the way. Love you.
Going crazy on Facebook, doing these
crazy
things.
Good, but also showing the emotional connection and
I
contact.
think it's amazing. I mean,
how they're being moved.
Just the ladies in the group coming together and showing support and holding space for each other. I mean, it's amazing. Just I can't even really. It's amazing. Just everyone in the group.
Well, the energy's up. This is it.
And showing support.
One of the things I spoke about, I think it was last week, when I closed my eyes, I saw the energy being sucked out of me. That doesn't sound right, but it was like there was like different chords to me, and it was pumping this weird energy, and I was standing there shaking, like get out. And then I didn't know what I was looking at, and then the tubes pulled away and went into the wall, and it looked like they ate the energy, and I went, what is going on in this level that I'm not seeing, right? And then we had a few more major, I don't know if it was, I guess it's a purge moment, but we were stretching. Paula has been pushing us stretching again.
Yeah. So we had talked on the show.
Highly recommend stretching every day.
Because we had to stop going to the gym because Grandma's not well. And then we just
I can't function at the gym.
And
the gym's almost too much for me as well.
Yeah,
it's too.
So we decided that we were going to start stretching and hopefully working up to yoga. And the movements we have to be careful because of the injury that Frank has and my condition. So we figured let's start with some stretching videos. So we get out the yoga mats. What was this, last night? The night before, right?
No, it was yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, it was the night before. Yesterday. It was the night before. So we get out the yoga mats.
Yes, it was.
And we're watching the stretching video, and we're doing the movements. I mean, even the cat was on
the first video she didn't like very much, but we started opening up in this weird way. My hips are tight and my lower back.
Oh, yeah.
So we're doing all the lower body stuff and putting the leg over the other leg and trying to pull it. Now, I'm a meatball, right? So that's as far as I go. I'm pulling down this way. I'm like, oh, my God. Okay. 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in, we were in the next video, and the girl just was a little easier than the guy was.
Yeah, she was a lot easier to follow.
Yeah, and it was a little more, very beginnery stuff.
But effective. So now we're doing the movements, and I hear a pop, and I look over at Frank, and I go, oh, my God, are you okay? And he goes, I don't know what happened. But I feel amazing.
I was twisting, and then holding the position. Holding the position for their version of 30 seconds
it's
and
not
mine 30, are just two completely 30 seconds.
Yeah, I was.
I couldn't do some of the moves, and then moving into transition, I would feel where I need it, right? Because you're basically doing a full body, each piece, the front, the side, the back. And then I couldn't do certain moves, but I could feel it stretching as I'm just slightly moving. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sit here and just breathe. And I was tight and constricted, and something went in my hips.
I heard it. And then a second later, it happened to me in my hips. And it was like a dam burst, wasn't it? It was like energy. It was almost like cracking an egg. And it was like a release of energy.
I started crying. I turned over and was facing the floor. Paula got up and she was doing something and she felt really good. And she was like, oh, I heard the pop. And I just laid on the floor on my belly and I was stretching my arms out like this. And I was crying and crying and crying. And then it just stopped. My whole body. All right. So who gets them? You guys ever get like a massage where they massage your fingers and your hands and then maybe you're arthritic a little or you're sore and then it feels like everything broke up and is floating. Now you're swollen. So you're like swollen, but you feel good. It's almost like that shit layer broke off and is floating in your body and your body is now sore and like puffy a little bit because my face was glowing and I was like,
because all of that fluid.
I had this drained
all of
look.
that fluid gets broken up. It's like murky water, and once you stretch and you move that fluid around, they call it like murky fluid because it's just it's stagnant. It's stagnant fluid in your body because you don't stretch, you don't move that part of your body, and
we don't know what's there. All right, so when I broke open my third eye, I was sitting with Chris, and the crack that opened, I thought I was gonna. I could feel plaque breaking off, like as if you were cracking a shell, and those little pieces that fall off were now in my bloodstream, and I could see it. And I was going, oh, that's it for me. That's gonna go to my heart, my brain, aneurysm, death. What did you do to me, you son of a bitch? I was hugging him and screaming at the same time, like, why? Oh. And then it just collected and I threw it up. Just like that. It just came out of the purge that way. And I was like, wow, that was.
Yeah, but didn't you purge after that stretch? After we stretched also?
I did.
You did?
Yeah. Well,
that was after that too.
Running,
that was an amazing.
Running processions on purging gets so frustrating. It takes a toll on your body when you've cried, like you said, all right, in a week, or let's say a 2-week time, you cry for 20 hours, one day into the next. You purge multiple times, multiple days for people, pets, and other things, and it's painful. It's like you have to run to the bathroom and throw up.
Well, you said that it was like you were purging for the collective, and then we watched that Allison Coe YouTube video.
Luna Ash 90. Yeah, she talks about stuff.
I like both of them, but I get them confused. And she was talking about exactly what you were going through.
Paula and I and the FearLess family, and I'm sure a bunch of others that I'm not quite aware of yet, but I know you're all out there, all around the world, that we make jokes. Oh, we're popping off at this time. Well, my FearLess family members and myself were having a difficult time, crying, throwing up, shitting, burping from like this internal thing where you're like, did something just come out of me? Like, I've never heard that, like that guttural, raw, and then it's gone. And you're like, bro, I'm sorry about that, And then you watch them come on camera and they're like, wow, I've had the hardest day. Please send me positive vibes. But this is what's happening, right? But it's not a victimization thing where they're explaining to you their situation and then they're like asking for help. No. They're talking about how they walk through the experience.
Right.
They're not there going, they're actually proactive and then sharing it with you just like we do. And then it becomes this beautiful environment where everyone's like, well, I went through that too. I kind of had that with.
Or something similar. And, that's affecting my life too.
Yes. So it brings us together, and we're not trying to solve anyone's problems because everyone, and I was telling my mother this, like no matter what problems we might have, right? Like grandma's sick, it's not good, but this is happening over here or that's happening over there. Okay. Everyone has their version of that.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't be dismissive to the neighbor when he's a jerk.
Right. Because he's going through the same thing. Yeah.
And she was kind of like at first, nah, my mother's, going and it's stressful and you and the cats are nothing like that. That's not the same thing. And I'm like, yeah, but it is, because in my world, first of all, it's my grandmother. So I'm already there with you.
Right.
But in my other world,
right,
we have an injury to it with a cat with an eye. We have another baby, 2 kittens, and then some other things going on. So it is very big because we didn't know if certain animals would survive. If you live with me, if you lived with me from the moment you were born until the moment we're there and you're sick, I'm going to care about you if you're in my house. There's just no ifs, ands, and buts. Like, it's not, well, I say this ad nauseum. They're my little family, my little fuzzy family. I'm not like, these are my pets. Look at them. I go, come enjoy. Look at all the beings in the yard. You know, it's kind of weird, but interesting. But you're my family. So the guy next door might have a sister that's sick, might have a thumb in his ass, might have hit a rock on the way to work. He might have talked to his wife, and his wife told him, go, yourself on the way home when he had flowers or didn't have flowers, and he should off anyway. Right? So it goes on and on and on. And those are so extreme to these individual people. And you're like, yeah, but my mother's dying. I'm like, yeah, but those people and everyone else doesn't care.
They're going through
because they're going through their death thing or whatever it is. What do you need?
Oh, I was trying to read something.
And so it becomes an interesting experience. So we have to be a little nicer to each other sometimes, a little more compassionate, but it's the timing. It's now, it's everything. It's not just bullshit.
No, it's definitely.
When people are weighing drama and screaming and crying, to them, that's like losing their mother, right? All right, take the phone or iPad away from your kid. If you got a kid that's like 7 or under, just go up right up to the kid while the kid's using it and just take it away.
Oh, meltdown.
Just snatch it. Don't say nothing. Go Bronx on them. Yeah, hold this. Give me that fucking thing. And just keep walking. But smile knowing that kid's going to lose his shit. And, okay, that's the equivalent of losing his mother. Because you could say, your mother just died outside and you don't know. Right? I've seen that kind of stuff. They don't care. Why? Because it's overwhelming. Well, that overwhelming feeling is just as bad as the overwhelming feelings that you're experiencing. Why? Because they're not as aware as you, maybe, or they are aware at their level. It's not. I'm not comparing.
Yes,
that's a bad thing to do.
They're at a different level in their progression.
Yes.
In their ascension.
So they're here. So they might not understand this, or they might have already went through this, and to them it was this. But maybe losing their car is way worse. I don't know. You're not in their head. You don't know what people are doing.
Because everyone's going through a form of it in one way or another. And it's going to be like that until we're done with this.
Yeah, it's not going to stop.
No. Oh, you know what? I want you to go into that whole thing with your timeline collapsing, because that's important too. Remember you told me the story?
Yeah, I was trying to keep that for the next part.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Way to cut the conversation off, Paula.
Sorry. It's me.
Hold this. Thank you. So, so as we go on productively in our internal ascension process, our transmuting, our everything that we're doing, we start lightening up on the inside. And all right, I'll even connect it. You begin to literally see from your awareness level that others aren't aware. So that doesn't mean you should be judging everyone. It just means you're watching. It's like watching the game, and you see the guy, he overran first. He can run back and tag him. This guy missed. You can see that. Just like you were watching from the stands. Depending on your awareness levels, where you're sitting in the stadium and where you can get your awareness angle from, right? Where your perspective is. So as we begin to see this, it begins to get easier for you not to get emotionally invested or involved in certain situations that absolutely have nothing to do with you. Mind your business, right? We talk about that, saying no, minding my business, pulling my energy back, and you could do that without being disruptive and crazy and emotionally snapping and jumping out and being like, what you did to me. It's like, oh, dude, calm down. This isn't about any of that. It's about, and then you face it and you deal with it and you move on. Every other situation in your life, you might have hit that wall head on. Fuck. And you're not getting anywhere. That person's not giving, you're not giving. All right, you got to remove yourself from the equation,
right,
and come at it completely differently.
Right. Because you have to change you.
Yeah.
Because that other person isn't going to change. So you have a decision to make. You can go on the way you're going on, and you're going to get the same result because you're doing the same exact thing. Or you can say, I have to be the one to let this go from this moment, and then you can expect a different result.
You
But
could
if you're
dance
not
if you
gonna
want
be the
to.
Yeah,
You could leave your friends behind. And if your friends don't dance it.
Right. But that's it, because you either change you, because you can't change anyone
Yeah,
else.
no one else is changing for you.
No one else is
Don't
changing.
expect your partner to change for you. Don't ask them to change.
Oh, this is you.
Don't say,
Yeah, because it's you.
don't say, you know, I really wish you would change. Progression, man. Everyone's on their own, on their own thing. Now, from that awareness level that I am now at and have achieved this awesome thing that I noticed today, and it really freaked me out in a good way. Okay, I can do it. Let me sit back a little. So,
What are you gonna do? Do I need to move out of the way?
No. I want to be able to Italian hands the situation.
Oh, all right.
See how I could get up in there?
Yeah, I get that.
All right. So, all right.
You don't think they really will?
Might as well. All right. I saw branching out of my chest today as I was having a thought that went kind of weird. And I'm not going to tell the thought, but what I'm going to say is the metaphor I told Paula. You see yourself walking outside getting hit by a car. And you know, it's like, oh, am I reading the future, the possibilities, the probabilities?
Right.
Okay. So up to this point, it's been more like that. You know, was that my future? Is that a timeline? Is that a fractal?
Did it already happen?
Did it already happen? Okay. With that being said, this time I saw the thought jump out of me on this branch, and it went and then broke off to the left. And I went, when it got to the left is where it got bad. And I was like, no, I don't want to experience that. So I'm removing myself from that now. Like, get that shit off. And it just went.
And it detached.
It detached. So I started screaming like, yo, check this out. So if because I thought of that, or that thought came to me, and that branch out was the probability or a probable or a possible future outcome, and then I was reading that, right? Okay. But we're all in this thing where timelines are collapsing.
Yes.
Okay, so
yes,
I'm reading that and going,
are being closed and timelines are collapsing.
I don't want to do that. And so there's no forcing me to do it. It's like, well, why don't you want to do that? Right? Like you ask yourself, well, why wouldn't I? Well, naturally, I don't want to get hit by a car. But I didn't think that. I said, well, didn't that already happen? Mm-hmm. Didn't we already do that? Like, I'm not repeating things to do this. What are you out of your mind?
Right.
So it just collapsed. And I was telling her it didn't retract.
No,
it didn't expand. No, it collapsed on itself.
Yeah.
Okay, so now knowing that, here's the fucking cool part. This is the good shit. If you can see the thought come from you, how it's coming out of you, where it branches off to you, where it sends you. So I was already saying, well, that already happened. If I deny it and I don't want to do it, or I say, yes, it still already happened. And then I'm accepting those things, that new path or whatever is coming out, like that path that makes the branch. And then I see an optimum one and I'm like, yeah, that's the one I want. Then I get on and I got to do the movements and you can't just think it. You have to do the work.
Because you're invoking your will.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're saying no. You are declaring that you don't want that to happen.
Right. Now, here's the good stuff. It goes and you're like, nah, I don't want that. So now technically you're reading if your probable futures, possible outcomes.
You could also look at it as saying you're possibly closing out a contract and saying,
well, this is how I was getting a kick out of it. I was going, so you mean I can see that before it occurs?
Yes.
Right. So I say no to it. And then the new thoughts come through and I can physically, like I'm watching this right now on the screen, pick the road I want.
There's a delay. Right?
And say, well, remember that's that 6 seconds heads up we get?
You were the one,
it's more than that, but it's a minimum.
Yeah, your heart knows
30 and the branch came from my heart.
Exactly.
And I was like, I don't want to do that.
Said, no,
but then I said,
go that way.
Not only would does that save the day, right? Like I'm not going out and getting hit by a car. Right. Okay. Because I'm not doing that. So you get to opt out, see it, opt out, say, look, we already did this, close it out completely so it won't happen. And then now you get to go about the optimum line. So you're less likely to fuck up your day. Because think of where that goes.
Yes, because now that's not a concern.
Right.
It's
so
like
it's like that could have happened, but now it's off the table.
It's just like those invisible fears that we were talking about last week. Like you're afraid, like people are afraid of these things that are not happening to you on Monday. You know, you have a list of 10 fears. 5 of them are not going to come true tomorrow. 3 of them are not even a possibility of happening to you probably at all. You're just afraid. So it's like you took one thing off the plate, one thing less to worry about.
Okay, now if you can see that, if you're getting that heads up, whether you're getting it an hour before, a month before, whatever. Okay, so it wouldn't be, all right, so it just happened to me that I realized it from that perspective.
Because
so I saw the branch.
You just received the download.
And now I can do that.
Earlier. Like right before you woke up, because they say that's when they come in, right before we get up, or as we're waking up, that's when we receive our downloads.
Oh yeah, and I stretched today, and I get. I'll talk about that.
Yeah, I bet you that happened, and then I bet you hit a checkpoint.
I was grumpy when I woke up, and I thought I had sucked in or sleeping here, and I was like, I think I cleared the house. Like it feels really good in here. But then
I felt it when I walked in.
For 20 minutes, I had to stand outside in the sun. I couldn't talk to anyone, and I was like. Thank you for me being alive.
Yes.
And I was touching my toes and going, wow, I can touch my toes. It took a few minutes. And then during that, instead of going, fuck the world, I didn't do any of that. I said, greetings, mother, greetings, father, greetings, son, greetings, universe. It didn't come out like that. It was like, greetings, universe. I don't even have coffee yet. But your inside was doing it perfectly. And I was trying to get it out best I can. And then in there, it just clicked, and I started moving like, oh, yo, this is pretty good. I got coffee right here. Everything started just to change. All right, so now.
Right, and then you gave yourself an option. We talked. I texted him. I said, what's going on over there? You okay? What's happening? And he was like, I can't handle the mornings. And I said, well, then you pack up and you say to everyone, goodbye. I'll be back later. You do what you can do. You can't do everything. You can only do what you can do at the moment. And he said, you know what? That's right. So he packed everything up.
Do it.
He told everyone goodbye. I'll be back later on tonight. And they were fine.
Everything was great.
They were fine. You were fine. He came home. Had coffee again.
All right, so
I mean, you have to pick and choose these battles. You can't win every one.
No, but you can get a heads up on things. So you're getting a heads up display on your own stuff.
If you pay attention to it.
Right. Well, it's one of the many gifts as a creator that you can do. Right. So you can do this. It's nothing special to me. It just happened. So I'm telling you.
You can do it. Right.
All right. So in the beginning, it's a painful one. Oh, what is that? Oh, am I going to die in a car accident? I don't want that. I don't want that. Get the fuck out of here. To realizing what just occurred. Then for it to happen randomly or whatever, maybe I'll practice it or try it and to happen again. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now we make how many choices a day? Millions. That's all we do is make choices, right?
Thousands and thousands of
So
choices.
now what happens if you're getting a heads up on all of them, right? Because that's where this is headed. So let's just say you get 10.
You navigate through life a little easier.
Then
it's like a what do you call that? It's
once
like
again, if you can do that,
like a bonus,
yes,
like a power up, right? If you're playing a video game, it's helping you navigate the waters of your life.
If you watch the movie Next with
what we're just talking
Nicolas
about
Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
He can walk up and then send out himself into all possible scenarios, and you see a version of him running into those scenarios. Some of them die, they get killed off over here. Some of them don't succeed, but get close, and and then there's the one success. So he'll be surrounded by guys, and then he'll just kind of send all these dudes out of himself and see how I can get out of this situation. And then he just does it, and they think it's magic or something. They don't know if he's phony. They're like, this guy's like a psychic. I don't know what he's doing, but he's pulling off these crazy stunts.
Right.
And all he's doing, he knows you're going to be there because he jumps out a few seconds before and sees it. It's not like this magic power. It's just like an enhanced ability that we all have. His happened to be that.
And he knows how to use it. That's the difference. You know
Focused
how to use it. Yes.
Okay, so I told you there's this thing where they showed me Paula on the other side of a crowd at a concert and me on the other side. And then I know she's over there and I can feel her presence through that crowd, like a Metallica concert, right? But then because of that ability, an ability like that, I can make it to her I could find her in the crowd and make it to her in the crowd, undetected and untouched, just by finding all the spots to move through, thus finding her like that. And I talked about it being almost like a superpower. Like, how would you actually, I don't know how I would actually do that. When they were showing it to me, it looked like I was going through the crowd. But now I'm kind of seeing that if you're watching your timelines collapse around you, what else could you do? Can you see the next few seconds? Oh, I went this way. Oh, no, that was a failure. I went this way. It was a failure. But how can I get through this place quickly? And then you go and you walk in between people and you take the perfect steps.
You navigate through it.
Thus looking like you have some kind of fucking superpower.
Right.
But it's really
you navigate through it.
Just your mind working on that level. That's pretty awesome. I don't know, man. I was saying if that, I'm a Frankenfoot. I fuck up a lot. And I'm sorry for cursing, but I'm not. Right? And
you're not anymore, you're not like that.
But when I am, I don't, it's nice to know that now I'll be able, because I'm aware. I'm trying to be aware. I'm trying to push this positive experience in my life, in my world, every day, all the time.
But you see how much easier it becomes, because once you've proven that it will work, once you've proven to yourself that it will work, and that you can trust something like that, doesn't it make it easier to do it again? Of course it does.
Yeah, that's the thing. So now when it happens, it's like when you're attacked the first time. You're like, oh, bro, they got me. I'm dead. It's all, my world's over.
Happen again
the second time,
yeah, shame on you.
You know you're getting attacked, and you're like, bro, I'm gonna try to fight them. The third time, you get the 6 seconds heads up, and when they come in the room, you're waiting you're like, oh, I remember, I got something for you.
Right, but
let's go.
But that's what
and they're like,
whoa.
Whoa.
In the beginning, you were getting attacked all the time.
Yeah, and then you just push it out.
Yeah, you learn. You learn what works and what doesn't work. And if you're doing the same thing over and over again and it's not working, stop doing it. It's insanity. Stop doing it. If it's not working, do something different. Change. Take a step out.
Yeah, stop leading with your face, just like in a boxing match.
Yeah,
you can't do that. Back up and come in and do something different. It's time to take new direction and different chances and different pathways.
Just trust.
As the neural pathways in your head start to build.
You gotta trust that gut.
You are the neural pathway to the universe. You look like the mycelium on a certain level. You are it, right? And then that connects, like when you take a picture of the universe. I can't show you guys, but the picture of like the eye lady with branches running through her. The eye lady. So that got me pretty excited. I was pretty that was pretty awesome. So the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about.
Well, you went through the first.
Yeah, well, that's Mary the Magnificent Cat Lady on the bottom, so that has nothing to do with tonight's show. And then the back. Yeah. So, all right. From the rock comes the gold. This was awesome.
Oh, this one's nice.
So I was in heavy meditation, slightly substance, and I kept doing this. And I was holding I got this vape, people. I know you all make fun of vapors sometimes. But I was holding it. It was I'm trying to squeeze.
I was like, what is wrong with you? You constipated? What is happening to you? What are you doing?
I'm smiling. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? All right, so I would close my eyes. And I saw a light come from the back, and it was like kind of shining on this wall. The wall had like this dark, slimy shit on it, like stuff that's been on a rock wall for a long time, right? But in between those creases, I saw it being like pulled away and breaking up and crumbling. And I was watching that and I was going, wow, look at that. You know, it's almost like the walls being sandblasted or some shit. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, that's pretty cool. And then I'm back sitting with Paula and she's like, yo, you all right? And I'm like, it's really funny. I think I see hieroglyphics on those walls.
Oh, yeah, you're turning, right?
Right? So the wall starts like, and I see what looks like a man and a woman, but it was the Horus and it was the Catwoman. It was weird. But it wasn't. It was actually a depiction of Paula and myself, which is really cool. But I was like, no, that's really us. That's not them, or that's ours, right? And then it was vibrating more. And then as the wall started to crack, I started to come in on the angle so I could see the wall, like as I was passing it. And the wall cracked, and then the rock fell off the wall, and the picture that was depicted of myself and Paula was actually on two golden roller spinny things that haven't spun naturally and looked like forever. It was covered in rock.
They were covered in rock.
So it was the thing like in the Golden Child. Yeah, the knife, right? It was spinning. Please, right? Okay. It was like that, but the picture, there was one on one and one on the other. As they spun very slowly, everything was solid gold. Everything. And they were like, as it spun, it was like cats on there. There was all kinds of writing, and the writing was lighting up. And I realized as I pulled, I was like, whoa, this gold, everything's made of gold. What's going on? And the rock cracked, and the whole mountain was there. And I was looking at my portion of my stuff. So it was like, look, this is your piece of the mountain. Like this is, I guess the recorded that you were here. Yeah, it's you.
Yeah, your record that you were there.
Thank you. And of me and you.
Yeah.
Which was all, and our family and everything. And it started spinning, and it was like a happy thing. And I'm like, there's wheels within gold, within rock, buried right in front of us. And then, metaphorically, that's you breaking through the stone, realizing that you're the gold. So it's working across the board universally.
But it was like when my pineal gland cracked open. Remember, you saw my head crack open completely. I heard it. I felt it. It felt like when you crack open a hollow Easter bunny, that beautiful crack that you get when the chocolate's fresh.
Yes.
It was like that. And then Frank saw I just felt it, but Frank saw it. So light and everything.
It sounded like someone was cracking a walnut.
Yeah.
And it broke, and then the light went around her.
Energy.
It like emanated from here and just went out and around. But it was pretty surreal. It wasn't something lightly taken. You were like, what the fuck?
Because it feels so good. Like it physically feels so good.
Very free.
You feel like you're breaking. You do feel like you're breaking out of a mold.
Yes.
Like you're just breaking yourself out of a cast or a mold or something very constricted.
I've been in ice for 90 years.
No, you haven't.
90. And now I'm free. But that's what it feels like. It feels like pure freedom. It feels and beautiful beyond.
Yeah.
It's like watching a flower and all the petals come out at once when you watch it like in fast speed.
Yeah, or when they do the elapsed time.
The elapsed time, yeah. That's pretty awesome. So knowing that, I mean, that's us. That's you guys. That's me and you. It's I am, we are. This is when it gets intense again. You start going, okay, yeah, the beings are there. The beings are fucking cool. This guy's there. This is cool. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Don't forget Shiva. Shiva's cool. Yeah, Ganesha. Don't forget the Egyptian ones and the Indian ones and the Chinese. Yeah, that's all great. What about me? Because everyone you're talking about is us. So me searching through all that is me just looking at us anyway. I could just go internally and just activate those fucking centers in me, which is exactly what they tell you don't do, right? The full moon came. I even said it out loud. I said, yo, my girl Kali is going to be running around the house tonight. Don't get scared, right? Like I'm already working that magic energy around me when you know, and bring it in and invoke it. I'm not bringing in the demon Kali, and I'm not bringing in the fake phony mimics, the AI characters. I'm not bringing in demonic intervention or no bullshit like that. It's literally pure energy, the energy that makes this stuff up, and I am the antenna to that energy. And it will flow through me, and I will let it flow. I won't let it stagnate. That's when you have problems, right? When you have blockages and stuff, and you dance with it. The light comes in. It like we spiral out, it spirals in.
It spirals in.
So then, what would that be? That would be the dance. I look like one of those hanging monkey
things. That would
things,
be the dance,
right? But
like
that would be that would be the dance, and then you would just keep spinning. Okay, that movement is part of the magic. That's how you make magic. You manifest. I mean, you could sit there and you can manifest through intent and everything, but you can move. We move. We're built in.
Yes, because
the skin suit technology.
Subtle movements.
That's why people do.
Yes. Tai Chi.
You know, and you're like, "Are you putting a curse on me or whatever?"
Dance, yes, and they spellcast while they're dancing. Yes, because it's fluid.
I spot you in the crowd and I go, you're my boy. And they go, oh. And then everyone else is just like, whoa. And they see us connecting. You can see the line without actually seeing it, right? Because I spotted my boy drinking the Coca-Cola down there on the other side of the room. He caught the touchdown. I'm like, oh, you're my dude. Right? You have that moment. Those are the connections. We're opening those connections to each and everything. This is going to be so wonderful. It's like I was watching X-Men the other night, and Cerebro.
Which one?
Days of Future Past. But it was just the Cerebro bubble they were in. Has the wall looks like the holodeck. The
Holodeck, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, okay, so each one of those boxes, little panels on the wall, projects different images and does different things. Right. So you can just go up in there and be like, well, hey, what's going on? And we're going to realize that this is more like that. There's one level where we're just standing in the Taurus,
but it is more
and you're
like
looking
that.
at those panels because that's the grid.
Yes.
The grid lines and all that shit. That's the grid, just up inside, lining the wall of the bubble.
Yes.
That's why people are like, no, we're in a dome sphere and all this shit. No, you're in a layer. You're literally like that, but not in this environment. But yes, in this environment, it's where your awareness is kind of sitting and your focus is.
When you see movies and you see people jumping into hyperspace. That's what it looks like. When you see the grid, that's exactly what it looks like.
When they jump into hyperspace in Star Wars or in Star Trek or in anything,
Guardians or any movie.
Guardians, they come out of the honeycomb matrix background. The honeycomb opens up, like you'll see them, and then one will just open and they come flying through after they were doing jumps through the universe. Because you can't just fly there. You have to make jumps. And he goes, how many jumps you making? He goes,
it's like
720. Dude, we could do like 40 maybe. Yeah. And they're going, and their eyes are popping out and shit. They pop out of the honeycomb. That's one grid. In Star Wars, when they're flying, it's like DMT hyperspace. It's like, and in Thor, when he calls to the Rainbow Bridge, he says, Heimdall, the bridge. And he gets hit with the energy and they get sucked up into that tube and they wind up fighting Hela in the last movie through the tube.
It's just a means of getting from one
that's like a wormhole. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. That they're just traveling in and they start fist fighting in there and they punch one of the guys, gets thrown out, and he winds up in a different place, and Thor gets punched and thrown out. He winds up in another. So it's always there. It's always been around us the whole time. The technology, what they've been using, what have we been using? What are we? What actually can our skin suit do on some level on this technology as we become one with it, because it is us. Like, I'm not Frank, but I am Frank. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, it's just one part of me.
I'm more than that.
I'm more than that. When I merge that, am I being held by little black holes? Because at the bottom, at the smallest point, nothing's touching. So those in-between spaces, or those little black holes, or those little portals, can I just change and shapeshift and portal myself in and out of things?
Right.
Can I just go from here to there and just by thinking? Mm-hmm. I think so. Yeah, I think that's where this goes on the far end of things.
We're just not there yet.
Yeah, but we're working on it.
No, totally.
And see, it happens naturally. Like, I wasn't sitting in hyper meditation for 6 weeks. No, I've been getting my ass kicked. You know, some days superheroes just step in dog shit and you're just not a superhero. You just step in cat poo and you beg for, I can't look at the cat poo, help me, right? Because it's It's just the way it is.
Not a hero's journey.
Not sometimes you just step in shit.
And then you determine whether or not that's going to ruin
It's going to ruin your day. Yeah. So your awareness has got to go up. I was going to connect it to the whole poop thing, and I decided not to.
Good,
I was going to say you can track it around your house. If you're unaware of it, you'll be living in it. You'll be dragging it through the carpet.
But it's just
You'll
like
be stepping on other people's stuff
for your life, right?
Or if your awareness is there and you notice you step in the poop, take your shoe off and clean it.
But it's the same thing with people, right? We let people affect our energy all of the time. We let energy vampires steal our energy. We let people drop off their demons and leave their demons behind. It's the same thing. We allow to take on other people's energy. We allow ourselves to take on other people's energy, and it makes us sick.
That's why we had to slow up the ayahuasca sessions.
Tonight, a half hour before, I was like, Frank, start putting your protection up. Start practicing. Start getting yourself together. There's going to be a lot of people where we're going.
I called out to the entity that ran Rye Playland, and I said, it's got to be a dragon, because the Dragon Coaster is their #1 attraction since this place was open. So I was like, you know what, Dragon Coaster, I loved you when I was a kid. I love you as an adult. Thank you for being there. And
and we had a fine time because
there wasn't any traffic either.
No,
like we just kind of
was perfect, right? Because we sent love ahead.
Oh, here. Have you been sciencing?
Has anyone scienced and sent?
We asked last week. Has anyone been sending love ahead? I seen a couple of people. Could you read that? I don't want to. I keep looking over and look ridiculous.
It's just love. People are sending a lot of love.
So have you been sciencing?
Yes,
yourself.
Sending love ahead and
for parking spaces, for a certain item, that you might need at the store, for a situation, for a family member. And I don't mean praying. I don't mean like, oh God, help me, lowercase g.
Asking the universe for what you need.
Connecting and being like, yo, it's time. I'm ready.
Frank had to sleep here last night, and I did not feel. I wanted to stay home. I didn't want to sleep here. And I sent love ahead, and I said, please let him have a good night's sleep. Let him, if he's got to be here, let him make the most of it. He did. He did laundry. He was very, very productive last night. We FaceTimed for a little while last night, but he got a lot of stuff done.
Technology.
And then when I called him in the morning, I was like, oh, because I sent love ahead for today.
And everything is working out. This is what we're getting at.
He was going to be at the grandparents. I said, oh, he's probably not going to sleep well. So I sent love ahead for today. So when we spoke this morning, and I said, if you can't handle the energy, come home. We're coming back anyway. He came home and he was like, oh, I had the greatest sleep. I had the greatest time. I was talking with everybody at the house. Everyone's good. We don't have to go back there till later on this evening. So I said, perfect. That's you couldn't expect a better outcome, and that's just from taking a little bit of time to think about what's going to happen in the future, in the near future, and trying to prepare for it. That's all you can do, and that's what we did. And today was a very productive day.
Nathan did it. Shout outs to Nathan.
Good for you.
You caught all the green lights, buddy, right?
Caught all the green lights. That's how it started.
So you want a miracle? It starts when you have to pee and there's a bathroom available, and it works its way to open highways and parking spaces.
That's how it started for me. All green lights on the way home, because when you want to go home.
Like how? Look, I need to be home in 20 minutes. It takes 28 minutes to get home, and even on my best day, it's just whatever. And then all of a sudden, in like 16 minutes, you're in the house. You're like, bro, I didn't even feel like I did 90 or nothing. I was doing like, all right, 70, but it just went like boom, 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 boom.
We had to.
What do you think's going on?
We had to go to Brooklyn this week, and
that was the smoothest.
Let me tell you something.
I was like, wow.
Frank asked me last minute. He was like, look, I'm going to see Josh. I'm going to see my friend. He keeps asking.
Shout outs to Josh. You the magician, bro.
Why don't you come? He's, Josh and Pola are always asking for you. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to come. And then as soon as I agreed to come, I sent love ahead. Because I said, if I have to do this and I have to drive to Brooklyn, I don't want to get stuck in traffic. So I sent love ahead. It took a minute. I pulled myself together. I got quiet, and I sent love ahead. We hit zero traffic. Oh, and your car. We brought
shit.
We brought the cars in this week. Had to go to the mechanic. I had a light that was out. Frank had to get an oil change.
Yo,
right?
my brakes
He
went.
goes to get the oil change. The mechanic Raleigh tells him, "You have no brake fluid.
You have no brakes. Because everything's gone."
If that wouldn't have
and I was
happened,
out driving around. I had went to Brooklyn 3 times prior with
now,
the brake
if that
issue.
would have happened, we would have had to pay for a tow truck to tow it to. I don't even
How
know
about
where we would tow it.
We can't stop.
We
We're
can't
on the
stop.
Brooklyn Bridge.
So, I mean, that's what I meant
That's
by
some
adulting.
Green Goblin
We did a
shit.
lot of adulting, but it all paid off because we had the best time. We got to hang out. There was no traffic going. And
I had the greatest coffee at Josh's.
Absolutely no traffic coming home, so it was great.
But this was us sciencing it. Like, we got to the point where we're like, you know, we don't recognize this shit sometimes, and we say, like, oh, I forgot to send love ahead, or, you know, I forgot to do my mantra.
Then do it right
I forgot
then,
to do...
as soon as you remember.
Yeah, as soon as you're in. But we've been to the point where, fuck that thing. So we got to the point where we notice, like, okay, we're about to do this.
Let's
send love ahead.
Send love ahead.
And it's natural. It's like you come out and you want to, all right, the cats are all at the door and you're like, move it. You're like, no, you know what? Thank you, cat mother. Send love at all the cats. They all separate, get in line, kind of start waiting for the thing to happen.
Yeah.
Instead of me going, and all the cats scattering because Frank's angry. Like it becomes a different reaction to the same things.
Yes.
And you'll notice once it works for one thing, the universe will give you the next thing immediately to test you.
Yeah, so then you test it and then it works and then it becomes a way of life.
And
it
then
really does.
it's just momentum and you keep going. And even when you lose momentum at that level, because eventually you're going to stop saying out loud because everyone's going to know you send love ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like it'll get played out to the point where you're just doing it the minute you open your eyes in the morning.
Yeah, I do it for everything because...
But it's the intention. Like, you can't just go, oh, God, please, not another fucking day.
No, you can't.
Not another day in this
saying,
fucking piece of shit. I need you to fucking be there for me.
Exactly.
It's like, no.
Because you're coming from a place of despair and fear.
Exactly. So your intention's wobbling out to the universe in that
It's coming out very
way.
Shaky, and the universe is sending it back to you very shaky.
Yeah.
You're not standing.
And then you're in that receiving mode, too. And then you're like, what is that? If you could see that under like DMT or a certain lighting or whatever, you'll see the waves coming in. Like, it should be, you know what I'm saying? It should be nice. Those waves come in, you know, when you're in that weirdo mood. It's like when I look at Aztec designs on blankets, right? I always say that's not just a design, that's frequency.
It is.
You're literally looking at the frequency of those beings.
Because if you pull that blanket out,
and it looks
resonant,
like,
yeah.
So I go, you ever notice that the Aztec ones, although beautiful, beautiful, you can understand why they'd be throwing people off pyramids into pits and ripping out their hearts, because the frequency's hardcore. When I see it, that's what I see.
I know you.
But when you look like at a certain mandala design, you'll go, like you're spinning into it and it's beautiful. Maybe it's blue and the lines are maybe it's the exact same thing as the Aztec thing, except instead of being sharp angles, it just has soft angles and they're thinner lines. And you're like, oh, it's like you're riding that line and it's beautiful and you're swirling into it. The Aztec sometimes makes you feel like you're in that pitfall game. And you're like, do-do-do-do-do-do-do, jumping over block to break the block, and that there's stuff hidden under these giant, thick areas.
Let me tell you something. I'll never joke about that again because...
Patterns or frequencies, yes.
Patterns or frequencies. Yeah, all the chat room folks are chiming in.
FearLess family for the win.
When we were sitting in that circle, when we went to South Carolina to watch the eclipse,
yes,
I never thought a circle could save my life.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Circle. We were sitting in a circle.
We had towels that were round. They're like flowered round.
Mandala towels.
Gorgeous,
and
too.
We were sitting in the circle, and we were telling the boys, please get in the circle.
They were sitting in a cubed, it was like a square mat with like lines in it, and we were like, dudes, come in
the circle.
And but they didn't want to hear us at all. They were like, we're fine,
I don't
just
want to
like
spend
this.
too much time on this, but you really didn't. You wouldn't think a circle could save your life, but
nothing could touch us.
But those mandalas worked.
We're tentacles, this, that, nothing mattered. The three of us, it was me, you, and Gina.
Yeah.
We were huddled onto one.
Yeah.
And then, but we were enjoying ourselves. We were like, oh, look, like we were protected. We had two next to each other, and we were all kind of lumped in.
Yeah.
And yeah, because you know, it was weird. That last few minutes was slightly. We were very aware that we had to sit in the circle. Why it wasn't really going well. We're circle of protection and blah. Because I put out sigils. My sigils worked.
There's no
wonderfully.
Time to discern it. You either
that shit was going down.
Yeah, it was going down. You feel like you've got to get in the circle. You know?
Yeah.
So like when you're using
like a timer, and you're like, I better go stand over here. Something's telling me I gotta go here.
Exactly. So you have to. That's again what we talk about though. Like when you don't listen to your gut. Every time someone doesn't listen to their gut, they always get hurt one way or another.
I should have believed what I thought originally. This is bullshit to begin with.
There to tell you something is not right.
Yes.
It's a meter.
It's your spider sense.
Yes, it's there to guide you again, to help you navigate through your life. And they said very clearly, get in the circle.
And the guys, all right, so check it out.
You have that doesn't even, sometimes you have to discern these things very quickly, but you have to go with your gut is what we're saying. So frequency and pattern and vibration, if you're not with it, there's a reason you're feeling that way. And go with it. Don't continue to do something that makes you uncomfortable if your gut is telling you not to do it.
Yeah. And if it's not making you happy and feeling at your highest potential, what are you doing?
Change it. Like we had the music on, meditation music. You can't listen to it because you could feel the underlying notes are not.
For sure.
They're
so
not
the
good.
Frequencies inside the musical patterns are built sometimes in a frequency to distort and destroy and disrupt, and then tell you, but no, you're happy, dance.
But if you listen to how you feel as you're hearing that, and you go, if you trust what you're feeling and you go with your gut, you'll know that you can't listen to that because it's going to harm you, or it's sending an underlying message that you shouldn't be receiving right now.
We had a group that was when they were new. I guess it was their older stuff, their first part things. The first album was great when it was on. The second album the Metamusic is when they got signed. Like when they just got signed, all that music had tones that just popped out. We were drinking Aya, and you could hear the tone in the middle of the song just go off, and then talking. And I'm like, oh, there's subliminals in all this music. She's like, shut that shit off. I'm trapped in a web. And I'm going, oh shit. And then it doesn't happen later in their career. It's like when they got full control of their shit back, that's just not there. Mm-hmm. Making me wonder that if that's even them putting it in there, because they have producers and stuff. Most of these guys aren't sitting there at their own computer in the studio.
Making their own music.
It goes through, there's a lot of pass-ons to where, how do you know if you gave me your music and I put something subliminal in it that you didn't know? And I was like, bro, it's me, hip-hop legend, master, and we work for Def Jam, and don't worry about it. And then we put it out, and you drink Aya somewhere and hear this, and go, but I didn't put that in my song. It's like, well, it kind of goes down the line. How are you supposed to know that's even there? When all this stuff comes to light, people are going to start shitting themselves. They're going to go, wow, it's in everything. It's not in a few things. It's not a couple things. It's filtered into everything. Well, our job is to do the best we can to navigate out of this shithole and leave giant pathways of awesome area to just bring your energy up through, while grounded to earth, and changing it from a shitty situation to a fantastic one that's so fantastic you don't even know what to do. Look, she don't even know what to do. She don't even know what to do.
Because you gave me a black and blue.
I did?
Look, you're squeezing it.
How? Oh,
that is fingerprints.
That is my fingerprints. You need more iron in here, honey.
Stop. No, but you're what you're saying is true though. You have to trust how you feel. People don't.
Did you just kick my arm
off?
I'm
sorry. Did I just push you off? I did. I just pushed you.
She was like,
I do that in the
arm
movie
off there.
Too. I push it. I wouldn't even talk about it.
Great segue. That reminds me. Are you worthy?
I am worthy.
Show the audience. My audience, my beautiful FearLess family. I give you worthy Pola. On the birthday of all birthdays.
Oh, is it? No, it's only 10 o'clock. It's not
well,
your birthday yet.
The show's not going to last. all the way through.
Oh, yeah.
So I just want to remind you, you have light swords. Light swords. You have shields. And you are worthy. I just wanted to do that. And you are worthy, and it's important that you remember that.
Yeah, you might want
because
to shut that light sword off.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's not cutting through.
I know you see it's gonna...
The floor is made of special light sword proof material.
Oh, okay.
Look, I'm sitting in the old lady chair. So you'll check it out. Like if I was sitting in a pool and I had to use my legs. All right. All kidding aside, but not joking. You have all this at your disposal. You just have to use it. You have to bring it up from the inside. You have to clear out your pathways. You have to get rid of all the stuff that is holding you down and not treating you right. Right?
True.
It's gunking up the system, and we're the ungunkables.
Yeah, the ungunkables. Meanwhile, ladies, you know what he's going to do with that light sword as soon as this camera goes off. Okay?
I'm going to get the green one off the wall, and I'm going to start with like, fight.
Stop!
It's a fight. All right. So thank you for being here with us tonight.
Are you ending it?
No, I don't want to. But
keep going.
Yeah. Well, what would you like to talk about?
Anything you want to talk about.
That is a masterful throwback to, hey, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You can do it. No, I'm just kidding. We said last week I would answer questions. Paula would answer questions if you have any questions.
If anyone has any questions.
Or any nasty comments directed at Paula. She'd love to hear them to her face.
Oh yes, I particularly like the
Paula, hashtag Paula needs haters.
you comment that I was a slut and a bimbo.
I was like, wow, that was my favorite for sure.
Yes, but
One guy said, could you please tell her to shut up?
Shut up.
So I just wrote back. You realize that's my wife, right?
Yeah, but
I got this giant apology letter.
You can't get mad if someone.
I was laughing. I just said I want to see the reaction to saying something like that.
You don't have to like me. You don't have to love me. It is what it is.
You'll notice more and more. You want to talk? Can you talk about walk-ins?
What do you mean walk-ins?
I guess people really struggle with the thought of the walk-in.
What do you mean?
So someone decides to leave their body, and someone else that has passed will get like an upgrade to be able to just walk into that person.
Weren't we just listening to a video?
Yeah.
With Chris Cornell and
Yeah, I don't know if that's about a walk-in. It has nothing to do with walking in.
Yeah,
wait a second.
The same thing. He got locked out of his body.
So yes.
So
yeah. Go ahead. You can tell him it's good.
What's the other guy's name? Chester. What's his last name?
Chester from Lincoln Park.
Right. So one of the theories is that I don't think he killed himself. I don't think Chris Cornell killed himself. Frank and I never thought they did. I think anyone that knows them know they wouldn't do that. But there's this woman on YouTube who, what is her name?
I don't know. I'm not giving her any props.
So she was breaking something down, and Frank and I were listening to it, and it makes a lot of sense.
So the walk-in with that, okay? They were
locked out of your own body.
They were talking about guys that were running the background in the music industry that they thought were their friends. They were doing certain things with them. And when the lady was channeling them, they were showing how people will get like, they scare them or something weird occurs where they
their body.
Freak them. They jump out of the body, right? Just like I talked about when I was taken down, I was knocked out of my body and I had a struggle to get back in. Okay, they shove someone else in right before you can get in, and then you can't get in. And then you're waiting for your body back.
I don't know.
That's what they were talking about, walk-ins for that reason, to do certain things.
No,
and they said during the music industry, everyone's fractured.
But
the beings were just jumping in and out of them randomly.
I believe that happens more often than
I don't. Yes, but from what I hear, when it happens naturally, and like the universe grants someone to come back. That's like such a tiny percent.
That's different, but I'm talking about from
But I think that's
trauma,
what.
Okay.
This was more when we talk about walk-ins.
Clearly went through some type of trauma, and I believe it's linked to childhood trauma, because I think childhood trauma is the key to everything that goes wrong.
Absolutely right.
And
everything is trauma based. When I was a kid, when I drank Aya,
it's linked to childhood trauma, and I think some people, to protect themselves, disconnect from their physical bodies because it's just easier for them to deal with their trauma. And I think that there are powers out there.
They're using tech and shit from that other side.
Yes.
It's not just their consciousness will doing that shit.
Out of your body.
There's usually beings that have bodies, jump out of their body and jump into yours.
Yes,
I've seen that.
Think it's tied to
a bunch.
Childhood trauma. I don't think when it happens naturally and there's no trauma, it's just a
no, the natural walk-in.
It's just an organic experience. I think that's different. I think that's like a visitation.
No, a natural walk-in would be like someone that has a coma and wakes up, and that's like something.
But I think that's childhood trauma. Any kind of trauma, because it's a vibration. It's a
well, they
frequency.
need you to fracture from yourself, so to keep from the pain that your body endures mentally, as you fracture, you jump out of yourself. During Aya situations, she'll pull you out and be like, "No, you gotta stay over here. You can't. You go in your body,
and
you're
then
gonna,
you see yourself
you're gonna go fucking crazy."
Because
I've done it. I said, "Don't take me out of my body," and then they start restructuring shit, and I start screaming for help. I'm losing my fucking mind. What's happening? And then she's like, "Yo, calm down. We can't stop this. You asked to be in it. I can't just pull you out. It'll fuck things up. It'll make you crazy.
You won't be able to handle it.
So now you're gonna have to go through this." And then I'm like, "But it's driving me nuts." And then she's like, "It's over."
But you already started. I had already, so it has to. You have to get through it. It already started.
You know, you send out a cry for help, and you're like, "Well, this is what you wanted. Who's coming to help you? If I come here and hug you, is it gonna stop the pain? Because they'll hug you, but that's not gonna do fucking nothing.
You already made the decision. Now you have to go through it.
Yeah, no matter what, you're gonna.
Right.
You have to just break through that, you know, that membrane.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
It is like that.
Yeah.
That's what happens there on the other side as well. You go through, you feel wet, like you just broke through something, and you're like, "Well, what is that?" And then you realize it's a membrane of some kind. You think it's a wall that's breathing, and it's
wet. It feels
right,
and
it's wet, and you're like, "But I'm okay. I'm not really wet. Anything." That's because everything's water, hyperfluid.
Yeah, but I mean, that's all I could say about it. That's how I'm connecting it. I mean, I don't know many people
as for walk-ins itself, I believe it to be as small of an opportunity or a chance to happen in a controlled environment like the Matrix. So it's rarely natural, just like not everyone's a twin flame. So you're not. You could be from the soul family, you could be from this, but not everybody's, because everyone's so caught up on twin flame, they don't realize you might not even have that. You're not even here for that reason. But you're caught up in the nuance of, "Oh, I got to have that too," and everything. But the percentage is this big. It's a very small percentage. But soul families, soulmates, very large percentage.
Soul family, especially because you need them to further your. When it's time for you to pick another soul, like when it's time for you to move on, to ascend, you need some of that family to be waiting for you in order for the ascension to take place, because you
somebody's always got to make it there and then come back to meet somebody and bring them back up.
Because you decided together that you were going to go. So it's, like, I don't know. I don't say that we're twin flame. We just like each other.
No, I've asked these questions numerous times, and they showed me. They're like, "You're not split into two. No. You're not split into two beings.
I don't think so.
You're a whole being. You're not missing anything." No. Twin flame people. "Well, I can't go on with that." Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, you most certainly can. "Well, without him, I'm not." No, you're most certainly not nothing and not half.
You'll be all right.
Okay? The majority of the time. They showed me 12, right? 12. Or maybe 13. Maybe there, if I was to count something else. I don't know.
12 or 13 what?
Twin flames.
Really?
Yeah, and it stems from there. So they're like, with all these people, remember at that one point, everyone was screaming, "I need my twin, my twin, my twin." It sounded like ducks quacking through the entire new age community. At one point it came through and I started doing videos immediately. Cut that shit out. Distraction. Because it'll have you scrambling. You'll wind up getting with the fucking neighbor thinking she's your twin and then making excuses to think that it is, just to realize it didn't work and it wasn't, because you need a twin, but you don't need anything.
I think people...
It's nice to have.
I think a lot of people associate a twin flame with a sexual feeling.
Yeah, that's your soulmate
you think that
and your soul family.
Yeah, you think it has to be someone that you can...
A twin flame is one soul split into two. We don't have communities of that.
Yeah, but I don't think that happens.
That's why it was so small.
That's just me. I mean, I don't know.
No, because nobody here is not whole. Think about who you are. You're the masculine and the feminine, whether you're male or female. You're both. You're Superman and Wonder Woman wrapped into one.
Well, you're sovereign, yeah. So
sovereign. So you're whole.
Yeah.
You don't need, all right. It's great that Paula and I found each other through this mix, right? But it would suck if we were not together, right?
Oh, it would be horrible.
But I would make it. She would make it. It would suck. It would suck. We both said it would. I don't want to do this if you're not here. But tidal wave comes through the room. Frank's gone. Paula's gonna have to go on. We have cats. We have other things. She has family. Yeah, she's going to go on. Does that make her twin dead and now she can't make it because she's only half? No, it does not at all. It means she's fucking Paula strong and she's still going strong. Even if she falls and fails day after day with the feeling inside, she still is succeeding by being there in the steps of the flow and the momentum. People get so caught up in this. I got to have this. I got to have that. I must have this. I must have that. Don't forget about that shit. Should worry about you and then sharing you properly. Like, you want the real me, right? Thank you for giving me the opportunity to grow and expand in your presence, because now you're going to get the best of me. And don't make that an excuse and be like, well, I got to clear out my shit. And if I'm going to be a fucking asshole, you should just deal with it because you're my twin flame. And blah, blah, blah. Not that. And if you could get caught doing that around me, in your face. Cake. All right. Anyway, I think that sums it up. You're all right. Anything less is not acceptable with you being the creator. If anyone's pushing that shit, anyone's pushing alien fucking agendas and this and that, don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. It's all about you doing what you have to do internally. All that comes... That, by the way, so all the aliens and the fucking the underworld where Anubis sits and the different dimensions and the planet Sirius, you want that, you go inside.
Yeah, you have to go
You inside. Can access all of that internally.
From here. You know what? And it's funny too, because, we live this life and some people don't want to be here because they know they're not comfortable here. Some people want to be off planet, or they know that things are not, maybe they have a little too much insight.
AI, yes.
On where they're supposed to be and when they're supposed to be there. And this human life is supposed to have a little bit of everything. It's supposed to be a little surreal, and it's supposed to be a little magical, and it's supposed to be a little bit about aliens and spaceships, because this life is not black and white. It's not earthly and concrete. And, there are things that happen that are out of our control. And why do we need to explain everything? Why can't it just be out of our control? Why can't it just be something that we can't put our finger on?
Or we don't have a word
something
for,
that
we can't map
we don't
it
have
out.
A word yet. Like a lot of
we can't explain the feeling.
A lot of the stuff that happens, to this FearLess family in the, situations that go on, and through plant medicines or not, even through meditation, a lot of it can't be explained because we just don't have words. We don't have the vocabulary yet to explain what we've seen. I certainly don't. I mean, I've still had experiences where I can't put into words what happened because I need something to happen in life to trigger what happened in my experience so that I could find the words to explain it. And I think people have to stop trying to explain everything. Sometimes things are just happening because they need to happen. Karmically, they need to happen. You need to clear contracts. Someone in your life needs to clear contracts, and they just need to happen. We cannot explain everything away. You can't. And if you try, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and you can't force it either. If you don't know, you're best saying, I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I'll get a hold on it
we say I don't
later.
know all the time. Like, I know the lights went off and on in the kitchen, and I know the power went out right before the show, but I don't know why. Do they not want the message out? Do they?
Yeah, you can get hung up in it for sure.
It happened. Whether you believe it or not, it happened, but I don't know why.
Someone asked, is it easier to see the NPC and the AI now? All right.
For us, yes, definitely.
The evil AI that everybody loves to hate with the tentacles and all that shit, for sure. That dude, that thing avoids me like the plague, but it's in everything.
It's in everything.
It's in me as well, but we just purge it out.
Yes.
It's literally everywhere. But the AI of the Matrix, the raw consciousness matrix system, is an AI functioning system. Hate to break it to you guys, but we're inside of some kind of digital projecting holographic biological suit inside of something that we're not aware of just yet, which a lot of us have seen before. So that AI is everything. So you greet it with love and joy, and it reacts to you, and it's meant to be that way. And there's other souls within the system, such as like Aya or Mother Earth, that aren't AI. It's another soul. It's just
organic.
It's an organic raw consciousness that's just bigger than yours, or in a position. It's no different because everyone's equal, right? But it would be a mother soul. So we would be little and it would be big, but we could all do the same things, because after I achieved a certain level, we were standing eye to eye. And I've helped uplift her at times, and it's mother. She's always hugging and uplifting me every day. Right. So there's that. And then as for the NPCs, you'll see them by the droves. A lot of people are going to confuse NPCs with creator beings that are filled with poop containers. You get two. I'm sorry. I had a. They got so much crud around them, and they're just not coming through the layers. It's difficult. You might say that's an AI. That's a NPC, and it's not.
And you've always been able to identify them. Because your gut tells you what it is.
You'll feel the energy come off it.
And you'll try to justify it.
You won't feel the warmth.
Nope.
Right? You'll be like, and let me tell you what, the warmth. You'd be able to tell. One of the things I was able to do in the last few days, I've been doing this on and off for actually a while, but really good in the last few days, is picking up who's the different energy. Like, what is that energy? So if you're reptilian and you even come around me, I'm all over you. It's almost like the eyes meet immediately, right? And it's like, whoa, well, one of us is going to have to do something, but I'm going to just stand here and keep looking. I'm observing, and they get so fucking freaked out. We went to a place once, and the bouncer there was. I'm telling you, he was.
That was Brooklyn also.
He was huge, and he was just staring, and he was doing this. Right? And it was unintentional to him. And then it started going. And I was watching him, and he was like, and I got near him, and then he just looked at me. Mm-hmm. And then I went to the other side of the room. I was staring at him like, what the fuck you looking at? And then I got to the other side of the room, and then he kept making eye contact with me. I'm like, yo, that dude.
He knew you recognized him, because then once he knew you recognized him, he stood away from you.
Yeah, he stayed the entire length. That he never came into the area, but he would look over at me and just give me that. And I'm looking right at him, and you can see the overlay, and you can see why it's acting that way. When I was with a friend of mine, he smoked, and his cousin was with us. I talked about this before, and he was a light being, but he was an insect. So the kid was sitting in the chair with us, next to us, and he was very fidgety. He was, I'm on camera now. I can show people. This is great. So he was doing, yo, what's up, guys? What's going on? Right? So I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with your hands? Like, what is that? Like, that's what I was saying mentally. So he smoked and was just sitting there doing that. And then we looked at him, and the insectoid was right over him going. Right. And I was going, are you fucking kidding me? So the guy's like, yo, we got to do something. I go, nah, it's made of light. It's literally like it's a light beam, just like you and me, but it looks like that. So the kid was going, what's up, man? What are you looking at? Why are you two looking at me like that? And we're like, no, we love you. And the guy grabbed me. He's like, what the fuck, bro? That's my little cousin. I go, he's a light being, though.
Yeah.
He's a light being.
He's a light being.
What are you going to do? He's a light being. You're going to hurt a good guy? Because that's what that is. That's like the ultimate good guy. He just looks like that.
Right.
Right? If like maybe that's, he's a walk-in from, not a walk-in, maybe he's from that planet where they look like that, and then he came to be human. So now he looks like this. Maybe that was like the last one, or, I mean, who knows? Who knows? I don't know anymore. I've seen people projecting.
This is the living library, so you don't really know.
In a cloaked ship above the house, with their body on the ship, the ET, acting a human by day, and at night when they're sleeping here, they're back on the ship collecting data the whole time. And then the human will get abducted by ETs, and then have these fucked up dreams and nightmares and be like, I'm being abducted. And then I'll go to step in and they'll say something like, mind your business. This is our experiment. He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. But
the kid, like whatever his name, we'll just say Jim. Jim doesn't, his avatar doesn't know. But the thing running him is on the ship with us. It's us. Right. So mind your business.
Because that's his contract.
And you'll see the abduction and you'll be like, oh shit. Mm-hmm. But once he pops out of the body, he's like, hi guys. Right? So he never remembers that going back into the body. And it's not for him to remember. The experiment was go in and let's see what this is about. Right. Let's see what we can do with DNA.
Observe and report. Mm-hmm.
Right? So then they're out of time. They're not even sitting in the same time frame as us. Even though they're sitting in front of us cloaked, they're just not. It doesn't work like that because they're in a frequency and we're not matching their frequency yet. So to them, they go through 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 lifetimes of people doing that from the ship. Right. And they'll be like, dude, you've been gone. It's not even been a full year for us.
Right.
It's for days, you guys, it's been
years. For us, it's days.
Exactly. It's been 100 years to you. To us, it's been a few weeks. Because when I was on the ship with Toth, I was screaming, what's going on? I was inside the sphere with him. And he's like, the entire time you've been gone, literally, since you left the ship, since you left where you're standing has been 1 month, our time.
Right.
And I go, but I've been, they meant from the beginning when I jumped in, when I said, oh, we knew we were already here. Then somewhere down the line, the distraction happened, and we were taken, the usurping of the situation, the overlay of the matrix, and then we had the amnesia. Then to go through to get to here, what happened was we jumped back and started at the beginning again and said, no, we're going to beat them back to the moment and know that they're coming and then go through it again. And you still have the amnesia, but we set ourselves on timers to wake up now. Like we went back having all this help over here, behind, in the other frequencies to come back with us. But it's going to take that long to break through all that. So as these experiments are going on and we're in this digital platform of some kind, for them, it's nothing. For us, it's, bro, I've been here fractal amounts of infinite whatevers. And they're laughing going, yeah, it's 1 month our time. Anunnaki time, one month. Right. 1 week is like fucking 50, 100 lifetimes. And they're right there checking in on you constantly. But when the takeover occurred, just like I was like, how are they doing this? And I saw the sphere of time and then a little hole opened. I was like, is this time? Is this like the sphere of time? They were like, yes. Now watch. And a little hole opened and looked at me. He was like, yo, here you go. And I was like dying of thirst. And I'm like, water. But metaphorically, for real, he was putting the bottle of water there for whatever reason that meant. But as the human, I was just desperate of thirst and now had something to drink. And this was the representation on one level, but maybe down there it was a way to get to the water, like the watering hole, right? So it was like a multi-layered thing. Mm-hmm. And then another being opened a hole and took the water bottle. And then they were like, that's chess. Right. And I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, so it was a mirage you saw. It wasn't actually water. You were eating the sand thinking it was the drink. And I'm like, well, that's fucked up. And they're like, well, that's what they're doing to you guys on every level. So they went back in time and started doing this. And then it's not one crew of dudes doing it. It's like multiple beings multiple timelines, multiple bloodlines, multiple DNA lines, all from different places and different times, regardless of whether you believe raw consciousness expands outside of the all ball sitting right here in front of you and sitting right in your seat with you. It's happening from every direction. So how are you supposed to put a fucking grip on that? So you mean everyone's just going through their own thing? And it's infinite.
One thing at a time.
Whoa. Yeah, see how it just overtakes you? It's too much to think about. It's like,
too much to think about, though. One thing at a time. Trying to stay in your body. Trying to not get locked out of your body. Trying to be protected at all times. Trying not to take other people's energy. It's a lot to think about. It's a lot to work through. It's a lot to navigate through. That's why if you have these little tips and tricks, you can navigate through your own life so much simpler. Getting
the heads up, the branch effect, and being able to see these different things occurring.
A little bit of gnosis goes a long way.
Shit.
And insight into what you could see being a potential problem coming down.
Potential, right? I could die, or I could go right and win the lotto.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Or I could be crazy and go into the living house.
Every level, every metaphorical issue or situation is there to be grabbed and to be played with, or rabbit holed, or expanded into something beautiful. It's actually literally up to you.
It is.
There's no wrong way to do this either. I wouldn't suggest stepping on people's heads and sacrificing babies and shit, because we'll find you etherically and smash your face. But, you know, do what you got to do. Just know there's consequences to everything that you're going to do.
Get through your day. But you want to wrap it up here? You want to keep going?
I don't know. You're weird, man. If Ed McMahon ever did that shit to Johnny Carson, I would just throw a bucket of fish in your face. That is how you get things rolling.
Okay. I'm not sure Ed McMahon.
If Chewbacca just started pressing buttons on the other side of the Millennium Falcon, what do you think would happen?
He knows how to fly it, though. That's a bad comparison.
That might have been bad, but I liked it. All right, so be in awareness of this stuff and take it one thing at a time, and then you'll notice yourself just opening and then getting the bigger view on it, right? Like we go away each week after the show, live our lives, and then we're able to like pull in all this stuff, transmute certain other things, change it up, see where that brings us, and then elaborate by flapping it back down on the table and seeing where the pathways took us. Well, this is a good idea. This is a bad idea. This has just happened in the universe. The science didn't work on this. The science did work on that. And the science did work on this.
And we're going to continue with your questions because we didn't get to everyone's questions. There are people that had more questions.
Are you reading them?
Oh, do you want to keep going? I thought you wanted to stop.
You just said we're going to keep going. And
no,
people
I
were
said
asking questions.
we're gonna pick it up.
Holy shit. I could rewind the video on this. See, this is where it gets good. Because I'm a hammer, right? And when you're a hammer, everything's a nail.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Paula?
Yes, no, I said we're going to pick up with the questions the next time.
Oh, more questions later on.
More questions later on.
Oh, so it's in wording. We don't yet have the definition and the language yet and the words to express Pola's.
To say we're going to talk later. Yeah, I know.
To say, same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you guys so much.
Everyone say hi.
FearLess family, I love you so much. Everybody out there, if you're first time or you've been here a million times,
thank you.
Like, subscribe, share, click a like, say something good. Do something good for yourself. Go to IamWeAreFearless.com. Check out some of the crazy designs on the t-shirts, hats, boots, shirts, shorts, pillows, posters of all the things that the artists have heard me blah blah about, and then their own blah blah about, and put it down into beautiful, fantastic, amazing art. It's awesome art, right? You want to be down with some awesome art? Check out IamWeAreFearless.com. Go to Woodland Wand Creations on Etsy. If you want a magic wand that'll make the room spin, say what's up to Rihanna and Bert. Shout outs to Ra, Eye of Ra, Brother Ra. All right.
We love you.
Go to the FearLess family is the Facebook group.
Yes, and
you have to answer the question. I got 36 people waiting in there, but I'm not letting you in if you don't answer the question.
You just got to answer the question.
I should make a song and as soon as you like click the button like you want in, and it sings to you about answering the questions. I wonder how many people would ignore that and not understand that the song is literally telling you.
And saying that you want to hunt Frank is not going to get you into.
And saying yes, and calling Paula a bimbo won't work either.
Yeah, thank you.
I love you guys so much. Check it out and let me know your questions in advance. I could write them down in case something weird like this happens.
Yeah,
because I don't want to feel like I'm skipping over you because I go back and I read everything.
Yeah,
and then the week goes by and
you can reach out to us.
I answer some of those sometimes in the Fearless family room though. Everybody goes live in there all the time, so it's really awesome. Thank you so much, and stay fearless. And remember, the universe rewards bravery.
We love you.
I love you so much, Fearless family. We all fearless. Makes me feel so fearless. Yes, we want to end it, but we don't want it to end.